Hello and welcome to a rather late edition of Pinoy Athletics Speed Talk Sunday. I'm your host, Andrew Williams, Andrew Perry. This is going to be um, a quick, um, brief summary of the week's events. Um, I'll start with some updates. I'm just going to share the screen. Yes, I have 4 viewers on now and already now 6 viewers. Oh, an interesting Sunday. Now, just bear with me for a minute. I'm just opening up. Apologies. Oh, 8 viewers now. Interesting. I'm back down to 7. Okay. All right. So, welcome to Speed Talk Sunday, Pinoy Athletics on the 6th of September 2020. Now, I'll just begin off with some news updates. So, yeah, the first thing is I have been ran for the incumbent vice presidency of the Association of Track and Field Statisticians, which was previously held by a guy from Sweden, who's now vacated the position. So, the ATFS, or the Association of Track and Field Statisticians, was founded 70 years ago in 1950, but the original founders, Roberto Quercetini and Donald Potts, first published their first ATF annual in 1948. The Philippines has had two former members of the ATFS, Colonel Romulo Constantino, the former Secretary General of PTAPA, and Mr. Si Ying Chow, who are now both deceased. I have been a member of the ATFS since 2013 as former PSC research assistant and co-founder of Pinoy Athletics. I'm currently based in Australia. So moving on to some more interesting news. Ernest Obiena competed at a competition in Innsbruck in Austria. Unfortunately, I believe it was called the Golden Route Challenge. Unfortunately, the meet got stopped due to heavy rain, and EJ had to stop at 5:40 after clearing heights at 5 meters 30. There were 5 jumpers left in the competition. In that meet, I do have a video which I will be sharing in a moment. I'll be sharing some highlights of that video with EJ's jumps. So just with the Golden Roof Challenge, due to heavy rainfall, the Golden Roof Challenge competition director had decided not to finish the men's pole vault competition for the safety of the athletes. Ernest Obiena cleared 5:30 and had to stop at 5 meters 40. EJ is now on his way to Ostrava with his coach Vitaly Petrov. So he has 2 more comps until September the 17th. After that break, 6 weeks with Coach Petrov, will begin his new training program all the way till the Tokyo Games. His aim is to jump 6 meters by August 21. I'll now play some footage of that competition. I'll just got to change the share screen. Bear with me for a minute. So as you can see, it's really wet at this meet. Everyone's in jackets. You know, the runway is absolutely drenched. So it's very, very testing conditions here. Um, see if I get about 18 viewers there. I'm just having a quick look. I'll post some shout outs in a minute. Okay, yeah. So the pole vault meet at wasn't able to finish with 5 vaulters left in the competition. EJ clearing it height at 5:30 before everyone had to retire from that competition due to the weather. So I've just posted some quick shout outs to people who are following this video. So shout outs to Nola Debra, Ian Panin, Kyle Quillaquil, Arvel Saniko, John Paul Sarian, Romnick Noor, and Rommel Salvatera with a rather sad face there. Cheer up, buddy. And Falsi Hassan Del Rio tuning in for tonight's broadcast. All right, so I'll just move to our next article. So yeah, so currently at the moment there are only a few Filipino heritage athletes competing at the moment. So there's EJ, there's Christina Knott, who broke the Philippine record of Lydia De Vega last week with 11:27. There's Natalie Uy, and also in Scotland, Connor Henderson. He just ran at the British National Championships last week. He had a very slight improvement on his season's best of 54.02 in the 400 hurdles, and he ran 53.99, season's best. He was unfortunate to miss out on the final by 1 space, finishing 9th. Henderson competed at the 2018 National Championships and got the silver medal behind Francis Medina in the 400 hurdles. So unfortunately we don't have a video of the heats. The final was won in 49.67. Another highlight of the British Championships, which has been recently held in Manchester City, in the north of England. Like the British Championships, a lot fewer entries than possible because a lot of athletes are not quite ready yet due to COVID. So, instead of having 4 heats in the 400 hurdles, they had like 2 heats. Men's 100, instead of having 6, 7, or 8 heats, they had 4 heats. So there was like a lot less entries at the British National Championships. But one of the highlights of the British National Championships was Harry Akins Ariete, who is now 30 years of age, a former world youth and world junior champion from the British athletics system, winning his first national title at the age of 30. So, he'd been up against some rather top sprinters who have now all retired, and Akins now had his moment at the British National Championship. So I'll just be playing a very quick video of the 100-meter dash at the British National Championships, which was won by Harry Akins. So it was a good race. This race is pretty good. It basically shows the importance of rhythm and patience in the race, and Akins executed it really well. I'm just going to bring up the video. Yeah, here we go. I won't play the whole video because we're trying to sort of not spend too long. Yeah, we'll leave it here. Yeah, so like a good win from a very experienced British athlete there. Um, okay, I'll just give some quick shout outs on Facebook. So we have quite a lot of viewers now. Just adding to the list of shout outs I didn't include. So Bry Tuzon, Arvel Sanico, Rio Magalianes, J.R. Reales, Lemor Santiago, Pedro Metong, Dave Sack, Joe Luis Sampson Sumil, John Armstrong FX, Edith Wakefield. Okay, moving on to the next part of our segment. Yeah, so in process is an article by myself and Connor Henderson, why employers shouldn't hire athletes. So that's something that's in the pipe work at the moment to watch out for. Okay, so I now have the results. We were able to conduct a two-man time trial at Las Vegas with some athletes I work with. Um, the 60 meters was actually, or in fact 50 meters. It was not measured out correctly. There were no markings. Um, obviously the times weren't correct because the world record of Coleman is 6.3. Um, so yeah, the athletes ran 150 meters. We had it counter checked with video software. Obviously, 16.8 and 8.2, 300 meters. Both athletes PB'd in that because the 300 is not a race they run very often. Moving to the next screen. So the results of the time trials of Saturday in Las Vegas. Based on that, these are the predicted outcome times of the athletes for the 1, the 2, and the 4, based on the 50, 150 numerous times and 300 times. This is what we came out with as predicted outcomes for 1, 2, and 400 meters. The next thing I'll do is I'll just quickly actually play the video now. If I can just exit out of that share screen, I'll just quickly play a video of the athletes having, managing to have a time trial. I mean, it's been very difficult for coaching during the COVID, but like being able to stitch together a time trial and this sort of period sort of bodes well for when we come out of COVID. Just having a quick look. Okay, here we go. Quickly share the screen. So yeah, the 50 was actually more likely. 60 was actually more like a 50-meter trial because it wasn't. It wasn't accurate. Well, it wasn't marked, so they had to estimate that. But the 150 and the 300 had check marks. And then the 300s they ran solo because they needed to take it to actually video it as they needed to start it. While watching these videos, I just post some more shout outs. So adding to the list of additional viewers, also Elizabeth Quintana. And some more people. So also Illyrin Labita, Alex Toledo, and Ralphs and Conde have joined the live stream. Okay. Okay, so here's a. Okay, okay, so here's a quick report on Eric Cray via the TAFA. So yeah, Eric Cray was in great shape during the season, heading towards the Tokyo qualifying. He was much stronger and consistent. More focus was put on his race pattern and speed endurance. It was noted the 50.21 second time of Eric in the SEA Games in 2019 in December. New race, he was still adjusting to his new race pattern and correcting many technical lapses. If he had been able to master the adjustments required for the SEA Games, it could have been a 49.8 or faster race, which puts him at perfect progress for December to put on track to run a 48.5 or faster as early as USA Outdoors in March. The Olympic qualifying is 48.90. During his first race in the 2020 outdoor season on February 13th, 2020, Eric ran a PB of 47.8 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His previous indoor personal best was 48.28 in 2015. This induced he was in extremely good shape heading into the 2020 outdoor season. It was stated that during practice in April or at the height of this pandemic, Eric timed 46.5, for the 400-meter flat speed. As COVID numbers went up and facilities shut down, Eric trained at local parks and in El Paso streets. However, once the Olympics was postponed to 2021, it was decided to keep Eric off the streets to reduce injury risk. While in good physical shape, the number of training venues became even more limited and harder to access as COVID numbers in Texas, one of COVID's hotspots in the US, continued to rise. In addition, understandable COVID-19 related delays in funding continued, and the dangers of travel during the pandemic prevented the attainment of ideal training and competition conditions. Such delays have, however, been resolved with a close working relationship between PSC and PTAFA. Training for 2021 continues, and the plan is to join the 2020 National Championships in the second week of December if the 20 National Championships pushes through. It'll be an Olympic qualifier which could trigger the participation of some of the region's and world's top athletes. Okay, so on that note, with that report which was sent through to PTAFA, we've got to ask the question. The Philippine National Open is in December. That is just 13 weeks away. Putting a question mark here as a lot of athletes are not even able to get to track ovals to train. In most cases, just in home-based training. So the question is 13 weeks going to be enough time to prepare for a national championships? I put a big question mark there as COVID is looking like, around 85 to 100 deaths a day. It doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So the big question is 13 weeks going to be anywhere near enough to get athletes back into competition without any minor competitions to prepare them for a national championship? So I leave that question to the viewers. So moving on with the last thing, UST versus the UAAP board. So after the resignation of the UST sports director Evergrado, and also the recent resignation of Elgin Io, the UST basketball coach, the question begs now is that, are these two resignations going to be enough to appease the UAAP board, or is the UAAP board looking at putting an even stricter sanction on UST? Are they going to suspend the basketball team? Are they going to suspend all sports? I guess next week the UAAP board will deliberate on this and come up with a final resolution onto what the fate of UST will be at the next UAAP, presuming that the next UAAP, which would be scheduled in next February, even pushes through at this rate. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the National Open? What are your thoughts on the COVID situation and the new normal? So you'll feel free, as we do encourage open discussion on our Pinoy Athletics Facebook group, so facebook.com/Pinoy Athletics, or Pinoy Athletics Facebook page, where we're open to several ongoing engage discussions on these topics. So you can discuss anything we discussed today, from IATF to the possible when the National Open will be held, to athletes transitioning into the workplace, to um, coaching during the pandemic. Anyway, I guess that's all we have time for today. It is now 11, just past the hour of 11 o'clock in Sydney, Australia, and 9 o'clock, just past 9 o'clock in the Philippines. So, yeah, so now I'm just signing off, and we'll be back on Tuesday for another edition of Pinoy Athletics Track Talk. Thank you, and God bless.